Joan Smith. Joan is the founder and executive director of Lifehouse Maternity Home. Additionally, she's founded and served as the executive director of St. Elizabeth's Regional Maternity Home in Noah's Ark Children's Village. Joan has spoken before U.S. Senate subcommittees on the topic of community and government partnerships in nonprofit arenas, and served on the Senate subcommittee on families and children. She and her husband live in Jeffersonville, Indiana. She's the mother of 2 and the grandmother of 5. Please join me in welcoming Joan.
Be here today, and really to follow after Patty and Teresa brings back a lot of wonderful memories, because we've worked together for so many years. When you think about abortion becoming legal in this country in 1973, I think back to our journeys together, because we've worked together, we've prayed together, and strive for the same goals to end abortion in this country. And I think one thing that it proves is we pro-lifers don't give up, and we're not about to give up. And in 1973, when abortion became legal, I was a nurse working in labor and delivery in emergency room. At that time, when a woman came in and miscarried, or a baby was born before it could live, we took that precious infant, placed it in a little coffin, baptized it, and called a funeral home to come and take the baby and bury it with great dignity in a cemetery. Then all of a sudden we were told, this isn't worth fooling with. It's medical waste. We throw them in the incinerator. And I think that was the wake-up call for many, many nurses. And actually, it was a lot of nurses that started those very first crisis pregnancy centers. In Louisville in 1973, we had 4 maternity homes. They were all 100% adoption-driven, meaning the young woman came in, she had her baby, they collected the adoption fee because she placed her baby for adoption, and that's how they funded themselves. Well, now in our society, we said abortion is the #1 choice. I could never carry my baby for 9 months and give it away. So adoption became the negative word. Abortion was the #1 choice. As a result of that, these maternity homes that funded themselves through adoption lost their source of revenue. So rather than think outside the box, they all closed their doors. And it was after Our Lady's Home closed here in Louisville that I was given the opportunity to start a maternity home in Indiana. That was in 1988. 5 years ago, I was asked by a group if I would consider bringing that model to Louisville, and I was more than honored to do it. And you know, we stepped out 5 sharp years ago, totally trusting in God. We had not the dime of resources and having no clue where we were going to go. Then we came upon a piece of property at 2710 Reedland Drive, which is now Lifehouse Maternity Home. God, from the day we laid eyes on that property, started opening up the volunteers, the resources, and everything that we could possibly need for this endeavor. Right here in your own parish, Val Henson stepped forth and said, I'll do all the remodeling for you. The volunteers came. People that actually wanted to be on staff came forth. And it was just like you could see God placing the right people in the right places at the right time. Because we knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, if we're going to ask these women not to abort their children, then somebody has to be out there to reach out and take these women in and love on them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and provide absolutely everything that they need so they can give birth to their child. At Lifehouse, we are a very, very comprehensive program. We look at this woman holistically, meaning physically, all of her physical needs, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. When we talk about their physical needs, of course, we're talking about medical care. And God has provided us with the most wonderful group of physicians that take care of these women, not only for their pregnancy, but for any other health-related issues, as well as needing their eye care and their dental care, all donated. They live in an environment where there's tranquility, where there's no drugs, there's no alcohol, there's wonderful, nutritious meals, and we are addressing anything and everything that they need for their physical body. Emotionally, these girls come to us in a lot of stress, or they wouldn't be in the situation they're in. So we provide all the emotional support that these young women need. And not just for this young woman, but for the father of the baby and the extended family as well. We have professional counselors on staff that work with these women individually, in family, and in group counseling. When it comes to their intellect, we know that education is primary if they're going to make it in this world. Many of the women come to us without a high school diploma. That becomes our number one priority, getting them back in school, completing their high school education. Once they complete their high school education, we strongly encourage college and further training. We offer such classes as the Dave Ramsey financial piece, because once we get them jobs, which if they have a high school diploma, it's mandatory that they work, we want them to learn how to manage their money effectively and not be dependent on the government. So once they get their job, they give us 10% of what they make. They give 10% to charity in the church of their choice. They put 50% into savings, and they have 30% of what they bring home to buy those extra things that they feel like they need. But I think the most important part of our program is the spiritual. We look at every young woman as a child of God, and we know if we empower the mother, the baby's going to be just fine. So we take the approach, save the mother, save the baby. And we know that her relationship with Christ is the most important thing that she has. So we work very, very hard on their spiritual development. Church is not optional, it's mandatory. Bible study is not optional, it's mandatory. And because we take such a strong stand in directing these young women spiritually, we accept no government money. We do not take a cent of city, state, or federal money, because we know if we do, we cannot conduct our program the way we know it's necessary. And because we have such a strong spiritual component, 9 of our mothers have chosen to be baptized. In our 4 years of existence, we have had 40 healthy babies born. Our 41st baby is due any day. Our youngest mom has been 13, and our oldest mom has been 32. We continue to work with these young women for however long they need us. When they walk in our front door, we do not ask them to leave. We work with them as long as they need us. So to this day, we're actually working with some of the young women that came into our program 4 years ago. And because of that, one of our first young women, who is a registered nurse, is now coming back to Lifehouse and teaching a Bible study. She also is working on the committee that's planning our next fundraising event. One of our other young moms who came to us after having a previous abortion is now a mother of a beautiful baby girl and is a full-time student at St. Catherine College. She's on scholarship and is helping to coach their track team. Here's a young woman that still comes to us just like we're her parents and says, you know, I need your guidance on this or your help on that. She just called to let me know that her grades are just going to be stupendous. So we are there for the long, long haul with these young women. Again, it's about saving the mother. If we save the mom, we save the baby. With our 9 young women who have been baptized, we know that these young women are from here on out making positive choices, not only for themselves, but for their babies and for future generations. One of our young women was getting married, and she called and she said, "Can we have our reception back at Lifehouse?" And we said, "Sure." So not only were we all in attendance to her wedding, but she actually threw her bouquet off of the front porch of Lifehouse. So we are extending ourselves beyond the initial crisis that these women had. And we are embedding ourselves into the lives of these young women. Our facility is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we never have an hour out of the day that we do not have staff on hand. Our budget is tremendous, and yet God is providing. He has provided everything that we have needed from the day we opened our doors. And we believe because He wants His children to live, and He wants the mothers of these babies to be the woman that He has created them to be beacons in this community and in this world for life, that He will continue to provide. We need your prayers, we need your financial support, and we need you to become involved in Lifehouse. Because as these women go to that abortion mill, many of them, when they are led away from there, need a family. They need a home. They need a place to go. And we have seen young women who have come directly from that abortion mill because the people are out there praying, coming into Lifehouse and giving birth to their children. 4 of our young moms have chosen adoption. The rest are parenting. But we do not charge anything for any of our services, including adoption, because we never want a woman to feel that she made a choice based on a financial decision. God is providing. The babies are living. And as long as Patty and Teresa are sending the women away from those abortion mills, Lifehouse is committed to be there to pick them up and to love them unconditionally. God bless you, and thank you.